Folks, thanks for joining us today. My name's John Dubas with Premier Marketing, and today we'll be spending a little time visiting about one of the key tools that you have available through Premier Marketing and its integrity partners, and that is the use of some of the electronic applications that are a key factor in success for many agents nowadays, simply because it eliminates a lot of the challenges that we have with our handwriting, if nothing else. So what we have today is we've invited Anna Patrick with CSG to come on and visit with us a bit about processes that are involved in this and see how we can make this a key tool to use moving forward. So Anna, what I'm doing now is turning control over to you.
All right, thank you so much, and thank you everybody for joining our webinar here today. eApplications are a great way for you to streamline submitting your applications to multiple carriers and really managing all your eApplications in one spot. I know the headache of an agent of having to learn every single carrier's eApp platform. There's a different process for United Healthcare, for Mutual of Omaha, for Aetna, for Medico, and it's a lot of applications for you to have to manage and learn. And I also know that a lot of you are utilizing your CSG quoting tool, whether that's the Premier branded quoting tool or the CSG app located inside MedicareCENTER. You're using our system to already run your Medicare supplement quotes. Why not just go right into the application from the quoting tool? It really does eliminate the time that it takes to sign out of the quoting tool, to go back to the carrier's website, to then re-enter all the information. You can just go right into the application from the quoting tool. What's also really great about it is the same process and the same look and feel for every single carrier on the platform. So that eliminates you having to learn all these carrier platform systems, just being able to learn one system to do all your apps on. It also allows you to manage all your eApplications in one spot. So you can see all of your submitted UHC, all of your submitted Mutual of Omaha, all your submitted Aetna apps, all in one spot, so you can really manage those applications, whether you have started it or you have submitted it. So today I'm going to walk you through doing an eApplication. I am going to show you a couple of different eApps just to kind of show you how the process is going to really look the same no matter the carrier that you are doing. So I am signed into what I call my testing environment. This allows me to actually hit submit on an application. So the look and feel, the colors is just going to be a little bit different than what you are used to seeing on the Premier branded quoting tool, or if you were using CSG through MedicareCENTER. The only difference is going to be the colors here. So in your tools, you'll have your eApplications view active. As I mentioned, this is where you would see any of your incomplete or submitted apps. And then in order to start an application, you will have to run your Medicare supplement quote first. So let's go ahead and we'll just click on run quote here. And then, as you all know, it's very easy to run a quote on the platform. All you have to do is enter in that zip code and then make sure that you adjust the age, the gender, the tobacco status, which plan you want. Also, if you want to quote with or without a household discount. Make sure that you do move your effective date forward to the effective date of the application that you are submitting. That way, if there are any rate changes coming up, that's automatically going to be included in that application. So we have several different carriers available on our eApplication platform. You'll see a notification when you sign in what carriers we have available for that state. So you can see just a couple here listed on the screen: Ascendo, Allstate, Continental Life, which is Aetna, Medico, Omaha Supplemental, which is Mutual of Omaha, and then United Healthcare. So these are all carriers that you can submit applications for on our system. Now, when you're going through the quote results screen and you're seeing this apply now is for any carriers that we have on the platform. So we are not validating right now if you are contracted or not. You'll just see that apply now button for any company that we have the enrollment capabilities. Now, in order to get into the application, you do have to be contracted with that carrier. So the first time you hit apply now, it will ask you to validate either with your writing number or your national producer number. So each carrier is a little bit different on what they are requesting, whether that's NPN or writing number, but the system will tell you which one. So if I wanted just to go ahead and go into an application, I can do that just by hitting that apply now. Now, I have already been into this application form, but keep in mind that it will save your writing number for you. So after you enter in your writing number the first time, it won't ask you for your writing number again. So you'll notice here it will just take me right into the application after it verifies my writing number on the back end. So that's what it kind of takes, about 5 to 10 seconds there for it to ping the carrier. So it took me right in. I'm going to click on this navigation, those 3 lines, just to make my screen a little bit bigger here. So what I mean when I say universal eApp platform is it's going to be the same look and feel no matter the carrier that you are doing the application for. So although I'm doing a Medico one in this example, if I was to do United Healthcare, an Aetna, a Mutual of Omaha, it's going to have the same look and feel. And I'll be able to show you that here in a little bit too as I pull up other carriers' eApps. So you'll see it carries over that premium here, and then your age and your quoted rate from the quote tool. You will also have any initial documents here. So if you needed the outline of coverage, the disclosures, the guide, you can view that. You can also send those documents over by email here as well. So right now, my sections over here on the right-hand side, they are grayed out. Once I select an underwriting type over on the left-hand side and enter my plan eligibility, my sections would then populate for me. So you're only going to complete sections that match your underwriting type. So if you're doing a fully underwritten app, you'll have health sections where you'll enter in and answer health questions. You'll enter in those prescription drugs. Open enrollment and guarantee would not have those particular sections. So that's why we're waiting here for you to select your underwriting type. You'll also have your notifications in the upper right-hand corner. So as you're going through an application, if you have any errors, for example, you select the wrong underwriting type, and based upon their plan eligibility, they're not eligible for a guarantee issue. It's actually a fully underwritten app. Or you accidentally select guarantee issue when it's an open enrollment. The system will notify you of that. It will also notify you if you answer yes to any declined health questions, or if you enter in any declinable drugs. So we want to make sure that your applications are always submitted in good working order and you're aware of any automatic declines. So going through this application, I can first start by selecting my underwriting type and then enter in my Part A and Part B effective dates here. Again, it's a smart app, so it will recognize if you selected something that would not technically be an open enrollment situation. So I'm going to show you this here to start, and then I'm going to hit continue. Now, as you go through the application, everything is automatically going to save for you. So as you hit continue on to the next section, or as you select a section on the right-hand side, the app is saving for you. So I know that many of you may get interrupted as you're taking an application. You may have to get out of it and come back in later, or you may be waiting for your client's banking information or for them to be available for signature. We understand that happens. So all of your applications will store for you and save. Those would all be stored underneath those eApplications view active. And you'll also be able to see your view applications here in the upper left-hand corner. If I click on view application. So I'm going to go through about half of this app, and then I'm going to use the scenario of I have to get back into my app at a later time. That way I can walk you through what that looks like. So now, as I mentioned, my sections now populate for me. So I can go through this application start to finish, either by completing a section and hitting continue, or I can just click on the section on the right-hand side and it will automatically take me to that particular section. A section that has a green check mark means that section is good to go. A yellow air icon means that there's information missing or wrong that I have to go in and correct. So let's go through this application, starting with the applicant information. Anything with a red asterisk is going to be a required field. You'll already notice here that my Plan F is grayed out for me. That means I'm not eligible for a Plan F. You can always change your plan type here, and then the premium over here on the right-hand side will now adjust for you to match. So as you're filling out the application, if you initially quote no household discount and then you answer yes to the household discount question, the rate over here is automatically going to update. So we're going to make sure that you're seeing the updated premium if you change anything from what you initially quoted. So let's go ahead and start by filling out this application. I'm going to do Sandra Smith. Now with the resident address, make sure that this is a physical address. This physical address, especially for Medico, it does have to match a valid United States Postal Service address. So if you misspell the street name or you enter in the numbers wrong, that could cause a submission failure, because when we are sending the data over to Medico, it's being validated automatically by the United States Postal Service. So you will want to make sure that you enter in that address correct. Their resident address cannot be a PO box. So if their mailing address is a PO, that's where underneath here is a mailing address different. That's where you would select yes, and that's where you would be able to enter in a PO box number. So date of birth, age, gender carries over from the quote, and then you can go ahead and enter in a phone number and then an email. Now there are two types of signature options that you can utilize, either by email or by text. So if you want or plan to use the text signature option or the email signature option, make sure that you have those phone numbers labeled in here. We'll get to more of the signature options later on, but just keep in mind that if you want to utilize it, make sure you do enter in an email address there and a number that you can use for texting. Now the household discount premium, this is going to identify for you what their definition is. So when you run your quotes in CSG, you can always apply a household discount to your quote to quote it with that household discount. But within the application, you're actually going to see the definition of it. So we can read Medico's, and if they do qualify for that household discount based upon living with somebody who's over the age of 50, I can answer yes, and I can put in that individual's name. And then when I hit continue, it's automatically going to update my premium over here on the right-hand side to reflect that household discount. Now, the only carrier on our system today that does not apply household discounts and EFT discounts would be United Healthcare. That's what their processes are on Lean 2, but the other carriers that we have on our platform, it will automatically update to the household discount rate. United Healthcare is just the only one that does not. You'll notice that Social Security and Medicare claim number, that's optional for Medicos. Some carriers, it may be a requirement. So really it just depends on the carrier on what fields are required or not. So it carries over that Medicare A and B effective dates from the first screen, and then I'll just finish answering the open enrollment questions and then hitting continue. So as I mentioned, the goal is to have green check marks on every single section here. That means everything is accurate and entered into the system. You can hop around the different sections. So if for some reason you need to skip the method of payment, you can just hop to the to be completed by producer section. So we do really make it easy for you to navigate here. So this is the previous or existing coverage information. If you answer yes to any of the questions, there will be additional fields that then populate for you to go ahead and fill out. Just for demo purposes, I'm going to select no to these, those other coverages. But again, keep in mind, if I would select yes, that's where you would enter in the additional information. And then I'm going to hit continue. So this would be a good example and where I'm going to demo for you how everything automatically saves for you. So let's say I'm the agent going through this application here, and I am waiting for my client to provide me their banking information. They either have to call me back, or I was waiting for their phone call to go through the application, but I started just the initial information. If I go into my view applications in the upper left-hand corner, this is where all of my submitted and incomplete apps store. So you can access that on the dashboard too, just by clicking on eApplications View Active. But now you can see here all of my incomplete and also my submitted apps. So you can see here, here's my Medico one for Sandra Smith. You can see I have an Aetna app that I've started. You can see I have a United Healthcare one that I have submitted. I also have an incomplete United Healthcare. So you can see all of your applications here in one spot. So this is where it does make it easy to manage your applications across carriers. So now Sandra called me back. She's ready to provide me her banking information, or Sandra came into my office and brought her banking information with her. So I'm going to go ahead and hit edit the application, and you'll notice here it took me right back to my method of payment section. So it takes me to where I left off. That way I don't have to go through each particular section again. I can always hop back to a section if I need to. So method of payment, we have automatic bank withdrawal. Each carrier will be different on what they allow for the bank withdrawal. We will match their systems. This is going to be monthly. Requested draw date, whether you want that from a checkings or a savings account. And then the routing number, you can either start by typing in the bank name, or you can just type in the routing number. It will populate your options either way. I'm going to select the bank there, and then the account number, and then the first name shown. Make sure you're only putting one first name shown here. If the husband and wife do share a bank account, so it's Sandra and Bob Smith share the same banking account, that normally happens with spouses, just go ahead and put in the applicant's name. Sandra, we're just asking for that one first name. And then we have the to be completed by producer section, so you can answer these questions accordingly. You'll notice here that if you are comfortable submitting applications for carriers, you'll notice all of the questions on this application is the same questions that they have on their applications. So how carriers word their health questions, what type of requirements are on the application, that will all match. The one thing that we did here with our eApp is have it be the same look and feel and the same process, but all the health questions will match the carriers, all the required fields would match. So if you're used to submitting Medico apps or Mutual of Omaha apps, you'll be used to the application that you're going through. This is the verify application screen. So all you have to do is hit edit section if you need to get back into a section if you noticed any errors. Otherwise, I have green check marks on all the sections, which means I can now lock and e-sign. So as this is taking me to my next screen here, I have my disclosures that I will go ahead and go through. This is just giving consent to do the electronic signature. So I can hit accept here, and then I can hit continue. If I would hit print, this would mean that I'm printing out the disclosures to save them. Now we get to the statement of signature. This is where it may vary from carrier to carrier on what that carrier is allowing for the signatures. In most cases, of course, we are going to have, if they're in the same physical location, an option for that. If you are remote, we'll have an option for that as well. So you can see here with Medico, we have 3 different signature options. So if I'm in the same physical location, I have applicant providing identification information. I also have an email signature link. So as I mentioned in the very beginning, this is where that email will automatically carry over. So if this is a wrong email or they need it sent to somewhere else, you would have to come to the bottom here and select edit application. The text message, if you were to choose text message, this is a field that you can edit because on the application it did ask for a home phone number. So they may still have a landline. So if they want it sent to their cell phone for their signature, this is where you can change that here. So if I'm not in the same physical location, I only have two options. I have the email and I also have the text. So let me go through two of these signature options for you. So if I'm in the same physical location, if I select applicant providing identification information, I have to open up every single one of these documents to review them. So I'm going to open up the disclosures. This is where you'll want to save them for your client and yourself. The guide, the application itself. So you will notice that these are all on the carrier's applications. The payment, the HIPAA form, and then the receipt. So once all of those documents have been opened up, they've turned green, you will check mark, I have received, read a copy of the above documents, and then their signature is their mother's maiden name, the last four of their social security number, and then the city, the state, and the zip code that they're signing in. Check mark, apply e-signature. And then for your producer signature, it will carry over your producer name, your agent ID, and then you will check mark apply e-signature, and then you'll hit sign application. Once you hit sign application, it will then say application is processing, and then it will say submitted for you. So that's the process if you're face-to-face with them and you want to use applicant providing identification information. If you're not in the same physical location and you want to use an email or a text, I'm going to demo the email for you just because I can screen share an email and not necessarily my cell phone on here. So I'm going to do email. Keep in mind the text signature option is the exact same screens. The only difference is that email and code is sent to us. The other one is sent to their cell phone. They do have to have internet on their phone in order to do the text signature option. So it carries over that email for me, my agent name, and then I will check mark apply e-signature, and then I will hit sign application. The next screen, it will just tell me that my application is processing. So I'm going to here, and as this loads, there we go, it says this application is now pending the applicant's signature. Then you, the agent, will be able to open up any of these documents here. So if we click on view applications, this will then show that my status says producer signed. So it has not been submitted to the carrier yet because I do need my client to be able to sign it. So it says producer signed. The client has 2 hours to then sign it via email. So if it's past the 2 hours, you will need to resend the signature to the individual. So let me go ahead here. I'm just going to pause my screen just so I can load in my email here to show you what this looks like. If you use the email signature option, you, the agent, is also CC'd on that email. So you will see everything that your client would receive. So here's the email that will come in to your client. It will say Medico Insurance Company or Mutual of Omaha or Aetna. You'll notice here it comes from a do not reply email address. You'll see also here that it is CC'd you as the agent. So this is my work email that I'm CC'd on. So it also notes to the applicant that their code will expire in 2 hours. So the applicant will copy or write down their code, and then they'll click verify signature. So their code and their link come over in one email for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click on or copy in that verification code here, and then the applicant's date of birth. the applicant's date of birth does have to match the date of birth on the application. So if they go to verify, they're within their 2-hour window, it's not allowing them to verify, you could have the wrong date of birth on the application. So that's where you would have to go into your account here and hit edit, fix their date of birth, and then resend them their new signature. So your client will scroll to the bottom, they'll hit I agree. And then this is where they will open up every single document to review it. So they will open up the outline of coverage. Keep in mind, this is the same thing we did if they were present with us. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly here, but you'll just notice that they open up in the new tab up here on my browser. Again, they can go ahead and copy whatever they need to and save. So your client wants all green lines, just like we have here. Once they have done that, you will check mark, I have received, read, and kept a copy of the above documents. And then the applicant's signature would just be the city and the state that they are signing in. And then you check mark, apply e-signature. So once that has been done, they will then hit sign application. So if your client is saying that they can't check mark the boxes or they can't hit the sign application, it's likely they haven't opened up all the documents. So just make sure that they open up every single document. So keep in mind there's 3 sections: the verified code and date of birth, the agreeing to do the electronic signature, so giving their consent, and then the actual signature where they open up the documents, do the check boxes, tell them where you're signing it at, and then hitting submit. So they do have 3 screens that they have to walk through. It will then say, thank you for submitting your application. And then you, the agent, can verify that they have done that, because if you refresh your page here, you'll be able to see that the status has then changed to submitted. So it says submitted now for you. And then you can always view a copy of that PDF. And then we do have a link to the carrier's website for you to check the status of the application. You will have to check the status on the carrier's website. We do ask for a 24-hour window for that application to appear on their system. So that's how you would walk through the eApplication. Let me quickly go into this Ascendo app here, and I'm going to hit edit. I just want to show you here how the Ascendo app looks the exact same as a Medico application. And I also want to show you some of the different notifications that you would receive. So you'll notice here I have the Aetna Ascendo pulled up for me. Again, same look and feel, same process. So that's where if you're comfortable and you submit an application for one carrier, you're going to be able to do all of the carriers on our platform. So same sections. For Aetna's, we do have their security question, the applicant providing identification information. You can use that for Aetna if you're in person or remote. With United Healthcare, we also have their security questions. United Healthcare security questions like, what's your father's middle name? What street did you grow up on? What's your favorite color? That can all be used in person or remote. So we do have a lot of great options for you to still take these applications remote or in person. One thing I want to note on Aetna's application, you can do a dual enrollment. So if you wanted to do a husband and wife side by side, you can do that on Aetna's system just by selecting dual enrollment here. I also have a couple of notifications already populated for me here on the right-hand side. So you'll see that I entered in a open enrollment underwriting type. But based upon my plan eligibility, my Medicare Part A and Part B effective dates, the system is telling me that I need to change my underwriting status to fully underwritten. So those are some notifications that you would automatically see as you're going through the application. You'll also notice if I hit full underwriting and then I hit continue to go on to the next section, you'll be able to see the carrier's health questions as well. I do like being able to show you multiple carrier platforms on here, just so you have that reassurance that it is the same look and feel and the same process, no matter that the carrier that you initially saw the demo for. There may just be a couple of differences from carrier to carrier based upon what their security questions are, or what type of signature options that they have. We're always going to have an email option. We'll always have an in-person option for you as well. Some carriers will also have that text option. So we do make it really easy for you to submit those applications over. So this, I just changed my underwriting status to fully underwritten, and the app is just thinking for me for a second. I'm just going to go ahead and hit that refresh button. If you ever need to just refresh or you get a server error, just go ahead and reload the page. Normally that solves the trick here. So now this is another notification that you can see here. The applicant will not be issued coverage because you answered yes to at least one health question. So that's another type of notification that would come in. So let me go into these Medicare information or health information. Sorry, I meant to click on the health information. The health information is where you will have those health questions. Again, the health questions are the same questions that the carrier has on their application. This would be word for word, so you'll be able to answer yes or no to those health questions. And that's where it would tell you in the notifications tab about declines. So in this example, I answered yes to these two health questions, which would cause an automatic decline. Some carriers will not allow you to submit if it is an automatic decline. You see all the health questions there. As I mentioned in the very beginning, the first time you hit apply now for a carrier, it will automatically save your national producer number or your writing number, so you don't have to enter it into the system again. But if you ever need to change it, in the eApplications View Active, in the upper right-hand corner, there is a settings icon. When you click on this settings icon, this is where you can update your national producer number or your writing number for the carriers that we have on our eApplication platform. You will notice that the carriers, if they have multiple subsidiaries, like Mutual of Omaha has multiple subsidiaries, like Mutual of Omaha, United World, Omaha Supplemental. Aetna also has multiple subsidiaries. You will have to enter them in for each subsidiary separately, just because they're in different states. So this is where you can update your carrier appointments if you need to at any given point. So that's a great demo of the eApplications. John, I'm going to turn it over to you to see if we have any agent questions.
No, I think you've covered it pretty thoroughly. The only question that pops up occasionally deals with underwriting, and I think that's a topic for another presentation, perhaps.
Yeah, perfect. Yep, and all those underwriting questions are in the system, so it does make it easy to know if it is going to be an automatic decline. Same with the drugs.
Awesome. Okay. Well, at this point in time, what I'd like to do is, one, thank you, Anna, for your presentation and enlightening us on how this system can really be of value to us in a number of different fashions, and thank you for that. For those of you that are watching today's recording, we urge you to give us a call at Premier at 1-800-365-8208 and get additional details about the use of this system, MedicareCENTER overall. We look forward to fielding any questions that you might have and enhancing the tools that you have available to aid in the success of your agency. So until we are able to visit one, I wish you good selling. Thanks so very much. We'll talk to you soon.